Okay, so you've got your metal cut now. It's cooled off so that we can move it around. The cuts are nice and clean, so I don't have to do a lot of work here. As a matter of fact, this slag will even chip off. But if you run the grinder on that, run it flat. Don't try to cut the edge off. Run it flat this way and then flat that way, and it will form a proper corner. If you try to cut the edge off, you'll end up with a rounded off edge. You don't want that. But this side's actually, pretty good. We can clean it up. So when we go to attach these things, it's the same as when you put these two together. You're just gonna go for that next piece right here. So you want a 1 inch overlap. It'll already be the edge of your last piece of metal right there. Make sure it's nice and square. Mr. Walker and I will be checking for that. And then put your tack here and your tack right here. Let me give you a word about this. This is a lot thicker weld here than on this side. So this weld over here is gonna take more beads stacked into it. Right over here, if you're using an 1/8 inch rod, you could probably do it with a single pass if you wanted to take the time. Make sure that you get that lead angle up a little bit higher. Make sure you get down on your work angle so it's getting next to the material. But it could fill it, right? 3 passes, if you got a really long lead angle, will leave a skinnier bead. You can do 3 passes. With a 332, I would expect this to be a 3-pass bead. On this side, a 1/8 3-pass would be really great. Drop your lead angle down to about here and burn from one side to the other. And then when you get to the next pass on the base there, we're gonna take our work angle, bring it up, keep the lead angle the same, and let it burn one side to the other. When we get to this piece up here, you can keep the same work angle with your rod and the same lead angle and let it burn one side to the other. Later, when we get to a T, we're gonna have to change that last angle. So whichever rod you choose, you're gonna stack more beads or less beads. A 1/8 inch would be 3 passes on this thicker side. If you're using 332, it's probably gonna be a 5-pass weld. Let me draw you a little picture. All right, let's talk about this 3-pass bead versus something like a 6-pass bead or more, because you can put multiple passes into things. So I'm gonna draw on this side what we call a 3-pass bead, and you've been trying it. We've been talking to you about this as you've been working with your material. So your first bead goes in here, we're gonna call that the root pass, and it goes all the way down the material, right? And then the next bead is gonna come in right here. So when you go to weld it, your work angle is at 45 degree, but then you're gonna bring the rod up a little bit to get this weld bead to fill in, and then you can keep the same work angle on a lap joint and bring that one in. So you have 1, 2, 3, building our ramp uphill. Let's go over to this side, and I'll walk around the other side too. We're gonna put our root pass in here, and let's say we're using a smaller rod or we have a really thicker material. We're gonna add more beads in here to make the job work. So let's go ahead and draw that exact same 3-pass bead here, but then we're gonna have to add more to finish the job off. So we're gonna throw a bead here, a bead here. We don't want it in this corner because that'll make a little bad spot. You gotta get it to either end before it gets to the very corner or toe of the weld, or it needs to be up a little higher. It doesn't matter. You can keep it further back or you can cut into it more, but don't land the toe of the weld, that edge right there. And then our last bead there. So that will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads. And I would lay them in that order, building our ramp uphill.